How estate planning is like building a house. Hi, I'm attorney Paul Bernstein of the Bernstein Law Group. We've dealt with many local area families over the last 25 plus years in creating their estate plans. And we frequently use an analogy of building a house when we talk about designing and creating someone's estate plan. When someone wants to build a house, they usually start off with they have a lot of land. They want to make sure that it's the right house for them, so they meet with an architect. Architect creates blueprints after conversations with the clients. The clients review the blueprints, makes any adjustments to that before the house is ever starting to be built. In the estate planning world, what we do is we meet with clients and we map out or basically create the blueprints for that client's estate plan. Map it out, make sure it makes sense to the client, and see if we have to make any adjustments to the blueprints before we start creating the estate plan itself. So first step is mapping out or designing the plan, just like going to an architect. The second step is then the architect gives those plans to a contractor who builds the house, and the clients will do a walkthrough once the house is built and see if they have any items that they want addressed or changed. And in the estate planning context, what that is the documents are drafted based on the design, blueprints if you will, and the clients review the documents. In our process, frequently with the attorney itself or someone with the firm will walk through, make sure it's the right plan, answer any questions they have, and if we need to make any fine tuning or adjustments to the documents, we do that. Then the client signs the document. That's just like the house is now built. The contractors handed over the keys to the clients, and now they have their house. But the house isn't yet ready to live in. This is a critical step. We have to do what? We have to move the furniture in and then install appliances before the house is actually livable. Well, in the estate planning context, just because you have the documents, especially when we're dealing with a trust-centered plan, which many of our clients have trust-centered plans, the moving the furniture component is to make sure that the assets now, we've changed the ownership from them as individuals, which makes them probate assets, to trust-owned assets. So we deed the real estate into the trust. We make sure bank accounts are properly titled in alignment with the trust. Take investment accounts, change ownership of those to the trust. Look at all the various assets and either change ownership over into the trust or look at the beneficiaries to make sure the beneficiaries are aligned with the estate plan. That's like moving the furniture in. We call that process funding the trust. As I mentioned earlier, unfortunately, we meet with many people that have a trust-centered plan that they went to a different attorney to and were not told about funding the trust. Therefore, they spent the time, effort, and energy to create an estate plan, but thinking they're avoiding probate court, and they're not avoiding probate court at all. It's now going to be a probate settlement and a trust settlement. Great for the lawyer, making a lot of money, not good for the family. We need to make sure the furniture's moved in for the trust to work fully. And then the last step with a home, any homeowner knows this, is we have to maintain the home, make sure that it's working properly, because over time things happen. Well, same in the estate planning context. Things are always changing. Sometimes it's not frequently, sometimes very frequently, and that could be changes in the law, changes in the tax rules, changes with the client's relationships with people, or just what the client owns. So there needs to be some method to make sure that the estate plan is reviewed, monitored, and adjusted over time as changes happen. I hope you found this information illustrative on what the estate planning process looks like. If you have any other questions or just not sure what to do, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.